Hey everybody, I'm Bethany and I'm a casting producer for Unscripted TV.
Hey, I'm Danny, and I'm also a casting producer for Unscripted TV.
And we are excited to bring you our new podcast, Casting Stories Untold.
Woo-hoo.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Happy, by the way, I don't think I ever even said Happy Pride Month as we're nearing the end. So happy Pride Month. I have my, is it okay for me to have a Pride mug?
Of course. Wait, what's on that?
Like flags and happy parades and people being excited about Pride Month. Isn't it cute?
Oh, I love that.
No.
Love that. Um,
It's,
do I say this is a question I have had, and I
yes.
don't know. Do I say on Juneteenth? Do I say Happy Juneteenth? Do
Ooh.
I how do I acknowledge it?
I think, I mean, I think it's a big question. I think Happy Juneteenth is totally appropriate, but I also think like, I mean, I don't know if I'm like the, most qualified person to answer this. It's not a monolith, the community, right? So I think like different people are going to have different responses, but I think that's perfectly amazing to say Happy Juneteenth, right?
I, I would I don't know.
What
I
it depends
well,
on who
here's
you're
another
talking to,
question.
probably also, right? So if you're talking to like me or like another good friend or someone like that, that that's how I see it. But maybe some people are a little bit more serious about it or more solemn, and maybe it's more like thinking of you on Juneteenth or something like that.
Hmm.
I'm
My kind of I think I would do if someone says it to me, which like why would but like if I hear it, I will say
yes,
it back. But I don't know if I would ever, and that's to a
saying like as a
crowd.
white person, can you
I
say
would not, yeah, like
like
just
can you initiate?
initiate Happy Juneteenth. I don't
Yeah.
think. Just
Well, can I initiate Happy Pride as a non, like what, like as a straight person, can I initiate Happy Pride? Is it
yes,
similar? I don't know that
I
they're the
feel
same. Yeah,
confident.
I don't think
Yeah,
they're
I
the
don't. I don't think. Yeah, I
that
feel
might
confident in
probably
saying yes. Anyone can say Happy Pride at
yeah.
any
Well, because it's
time.
all good. It's all like celebratory. It's all like,
Yeah.
it's acknowledging like the joy, but it's not necessarily with Juneteenth. Like there's sort of a, a heavier history in terms of what the date means, right? So I think that's the difference.
There is definitely a heavier history.
Yeah.
But I don't, I do.
I'm not talking about all of slavery. I just mean like the
Oh,
literal
okay.
because yeah.
Okay.
Yes. No. I mean more like the specific date, like what the date means, right? Like the acknowledgement of like knowing of everybody finally like being able to take advantage of the fact that like we are free. Like that's more what I mean. The day can be a little bit more complex for people, and the celebrations
Mm.
can be a little bit more like introspective and like, are we raising awareness? Are we doing this instead of just like, yay, let's do a barbecue? Which I do think there's a lot of, and that's great. I just think it's complicated.
Yes.
But let me shut up before I get like,
Well, no, because I recently said Happy Memorial Day to someone, and they said,
yeah,
we do not say Happy Memorial Day because it's not happy. And I said, oh, okay.
wow. Well, that
So,
person clearly feels some kind of way, but I bet if you said it to someone else who, maybe was a veteran or had somebody they knew pass away in the war, like they may have taken it differently and been very happy for you to say Happy Memorial Day because I'm celebrating and in memoriam of the people that fought for our
mm,
country.
yeah. Okay, I see that too. Also, I have to Pride is like all a celebration and joys, but it is also like I think in remembrance of the struggles and like the fighting for rights
Yeah,
and all
the acknowledgement of all the,
of the
so
yeah.
maybe it is more complex in saying
But no,
happy.
I still think you can say it. I think it's great, but I just want to make sure I cover that.
And sometimes it's hard also to be like the person that people come to and ask the questions because you're like, I don't, I'm not like I have my opinions and I have my beliefs and I know my stuff, a lot of it, but I'm not, again, it's not, I don't speak for everyone when I tell you my story.
Oh my God, like I just came to you and asked you.
But I'm saying that, and that's great, and I like talking about it, but
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I can tell you how I feel, but I can't obviously
Yes,
say how other people feel about certain things.
that's true. I know it's yeah, it really is. But I mean, these days, I mean, not that this is the same, but people have even weaponized Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays, and that whole battle.
It's
But I
crazy.
think it's probably right the intention with which.
That is exactly the point. That is well said. It's all about the intention and
The
all about
intention
simply being able to receive the intention that you had, not to be to turn it around and twist it.
and the intention with which we are here today is to bring in our lovely guest who won Big Brother 16, has since hosted many shows, many podcasts, was just on Traitors season 3. And here he is, Derrick.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
How's
Hey,
it going?
Derek, how are
How's it
you?
going? How's it going?
Good. Wait,
I
this
love your setup. It is like stunning.
I just got done recording.
is this in your house?
No, so I rent a studio. I have 4 sets. I have this set, one to my left, one behind me, and one in the corner. So we record 4 different shows out of here. So I have a whole studio here, and then my coffee company's across the hall.
You
Wow.
are
Yeah,
balling. That's
yeah,
us Monday, Danny.
I know.
yeah. So this is
Wow.
so I just recorded our main show, which is Crime Weekly. We just recorded for 5.5 hours. So this is the background for that show. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on right from here. It's already set up, ready to go. Got my
Yeah.
in-ears in, so I'm good.
Wow. In-ears
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, these in-ears are like game changers.
In ears.
Oh, they're nice. Honestly, strongly recommend them. They're pricey, but who makes them? Here, look real quick. Ultimate Ears. Ultimate Ears makes them.
Oh, UE. I have UE Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, these are great. And they customize them to your ears. So they sent this kit out and you go to like what do you call an ear doctor? What are they called? Whatever they are.
ENT.
ENT or whatever it is. They do like a foam in your ear and then it hardens and they send it off into the Ultimate Ears box and then Ultimate Ears makes your inner ears the exact same way for you, just like a musician would do, you know?
Yeah.
It's giving like you're on tour.
It kind of that's exactly what it's the same thing that they use, but you plug
You
it
have to
right
take it
in.
out like mid conversation because it's like interrupting your.
Yeah, sometimes I want to check my yeah, you know. But no, it's super nice. And also the best part about it is you don't have like the big headphones on and it sounds like you can hear every little thing because it's like studio quality headphones. So it picks up every little variant that you want to make note of for the editors right while you're recording.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
it's nice.
when you record, like you just said, you recorded a 5 hour thing.
Yeah.
Is that, will it go continuously one, or is it that broken up into multiple episodes?
No, it's one episode. So it's 2 episodes we do. We do Crime Weekly News, which comes out on Wednesdays, and then we do Crime Weekly, which comes out on Fridays. So we record Crime Weekly News, which is like a topical conversation for like an hour where we discuss a crime in the headlines, which is this week it's Bryan Kohberger. And then we do our main flagship episode, which is Crime Weekly, which is about 2.5 hours, but with ads, it takes us about 3 hours to record.
The Bryan
It's involved.
Kohberger thing, I actually have a question about. I did a deep dive on it
Okay.
recently, and I shouldn't have because actually my beautiful background is my sister's bedroom because I'm like visiting here. But when everyone was, I had like the whole house to myself, and then at night everyone goes to sleep, and then I'm alone up, and I'm bad with crime. I can't watch horror movies. I do not like watching, knowing anything about it. I get very freaked out. I did this deep dive on Bryan Kohberger, could not figure out his motive, which makes me feel like, oh my God, that means anyone, anywhere could just like want to go into a house, which is my biggest fear, and just murder and stab people.
You're trying to irrationalize the irrational.
Oh my God, I say that all the time. Don't try to rationalize the rational.
Yeah, and but for
Irrational.
him, it's more simple than that. He's an incel. Kaylee reminded him of a woman who turned him down many years ago. She looks just like her, and he had been watching her for months. He'd been watching Kaylee for months, for up to 4 months. They have him over there, so he was watching that place, trying to conjure up the quote unquote courage to do it. And then when he did, unfortunately, there were more people there.
So this is my question because obviously, that makes sense. But then
Mm,
you know how the other roommate like basically like saw him like leave and was like
yeah.
looked him in the eye almost. So why did he just walk out?
So yeah, we just talked about this.
Yeah.
So basically, he went there for Kaylee. He goes up to the third floor. He beats her first, then he stabs her. Unfortunately, Madison is in the bed with Kaylee. That's unexpected. So he has to kill her as well, right? Because she's there. He may have just killed her first. While they're up there, there's banging around going on up there, and Xana is downstairs with Ethan. We'll never know for sure, but my theory is that Xander probably yelled up to them saying, "Hey, what are you guys doing up there? Is everything cool?" So now Bryan, who planned on spending some time with Kaylee,
Yeah.
doing some different things, more than likely realizes plans now have changed. He goes downstairs, he confronts Xana, or she confronts him, whatever it may be. He stabs her to death as well. And because he stabbed her and the door is open, he can now see that her boyfriend's laying in bed still sleeping, Ethan. So he kills him as well. As far as the witness, it's not as difficult to understand as people make it seem to be. There's a small neon light in the hallway. Now imagine you're in your house that you know well, right? That neon light is going to give an ambient light towards anybody in that hallway. But if you're Bryan Kohberger and you went there to kill one person and now you've killed four, and you're thinking my plan is already getting fucked up, I got to get out of here. You already have tunnel vision on the screen door that's leading you back outside. Now you're walking out the door. You have a neon light in your face. It's completely dark. You're not familiar with the layout of the apartment. And this girl is inside her apartment with the door only slightly ajar. It would be very easy after killing four people to not be able to see that out of your corner of your eye, especially when the light is emitting on him, not on her. She's in a room that's dark. She's not backlit at all. So he's walking down probably at a fast pace and completely misses her, because there's no doubt in my mind if he would have saw her standing there, she'd be dead. He missed her. And criminals make mistakes, which is why he was caught, because he left the fucking sheath in the bed with them with his DNA on it. Criminals were smart. We probably wouldn't catch him. So it makes a lot of sense how it all played out. And this case was kind of a slam dunk, in my opinion, but that's why he didn't go to trial for it.
It's just one of my biggest, like growing up was always my biggest fear of someone coming into the house and
It's a
stabbing me
reality.
in my sleep.
It's a reality. It's a world we live in. We always talk about how to prevent things from happening to you and things that can be done going forward. You got to put the sliding bars on your doors. You got to have a security system. You got to arm that thing when you go to bed every night, even though it can be inconvenient and you can forget sometimes. There's little things that you can do that can prevent, or at least they could deter people from choosing your house. I say to people all the time, even if you don't have an alarm system, go out and buy one of those metal stands that says you have an alarm system there, because when someone's casing a property, they're going to go to the house that doesn't have the sign in front of it, right?
Right.
So a 30-cent sign you could have in front of your house may save your life. Now, you'll never know that because it'll never happen,
Right.
but you don't realize when someone's outside your house and they're thinking about making your house the target, that may be the difference between life and death. But people don't think about it.
I think that about dogs a lot. Danny and I both, well, not recently anymore, but like a year ago, lost our pets, our beloved dogs. But I think that a lot. Obviously, I want another dog for many reasons, but I think
Yeah.
that, like you said, they might just pass over and go to like an easier home,
Soft
right?
target. They're going to choose soft targets. And that house appeared to be soft at first, but there was more people in there. And it still was. It was easy to gain access. The sliding door was open. People are coming and going from that house all the time. They had a lot of parties there. And Bryan, being a smart guy, probably was aware of all that, you know? So it is what it is.
I
Well,
guess
let's say hi first of all. Hi, Derrick.
Hi.
I'm Bethany. I think we've kind of met. We run in the same circles with Big Brother people. I know you a little
Yep.
bit. Hello, hello. Danny obviously is your
I
guy.
know Danny just a little bit.
I was realizing I'm zooming here and from like pretty much from Boston, where I feel like is that where you
I'm in
came
Rhode
from?
Island. Yeah, about 45 minutes from you.
Yeah. Did you come to the open call or did you just
No, you actually, believe it or not, I did a video and it was you who called me and left a voicemail, because I had recorded the video and sent it in, and within 2 weeks I'm sitting on my couch and Janet comes in and goes, "Did you just hear the voicemail on the phone out there?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "You might want to go listen to it." And it's like, "Hey, Derrick, it's Danny from Big Brother. Just calling you back. Give me a call when you get this." It was definitely you who called me initially. And then I think I got transferred over to Chris Catalano, but it was initially you making that first call. So I still have that voicemail somewhere.
was it on your home phone? Like
I believe it was. It was on like the
wow.
home phone that was like, it wasn't my cell phone. And I didn't know that it even rang, but I came home, was sitting on the couch, and she's like, "Yeah, she's like, and then as soon as we listened to the voicemail, she goes, "You're going to get on that fucking show." She's like, they're going to pick you. I knew they were gonna.
Well then because I do remember we interviewed you in person.
Yes. So after that, we talked, and then you guys had me come out to New York.
But I do remember because I think afterwards we like shut the camera kind of almost like this in the beginning when we had that whole thing. You told this whole story of like some
Like
cop
an
escapade that you
everything.
were on, and we were all just like fascinated by it.
Well, we were sitting there in the room, and Chris is like, "But are you actually a cop? Because my brother's a cop, and I can confirm it." I'm like, yeah." And I pulled up my shirt, and I had my gun on me, and he was like, "Oh my fucking god! Oh my fucking god! You're on the show." He's like, "You got to be on the show." He's like, "There's no way. We didn't think you were actually a cop." So I'm like, "Yeah, no, I've been on for a while." And then they had signs they were writing, like they were taking notes, and the other guys that were in the room were like 21 Jump Street. They kept writing that on their notes, and they were showing me. They're like, "Oh yeah, we think you'd be a good fit. So you're coming." My interview, I'm not trying to be braggadocious, was only like 5 minutes, and he was like, "Oh no, you're coming to LA."
Honestly, sometimes the good ones, it's like you get what you need. Sometimes it's
It wasn't even like I was expecting a formal interview.
what?
I was expecting like a formal interview. I sat down. I think I was one of the last ones because you guys were saving the ones you were having coming in, not just the auditions, till later in the day. So I got off the train. I went there. I came right upstairs. I went in the room, sat in a chair. We were in there for a total of maybe like 20 minutes. And then I got back on the train.
Yeah, sometimes you get all you need in those fun short.
Worked out. But
Yeah.
he was cool about it. He's like, "Listen, I want you to come to LA, but there's still a chance you may not." He's like, "We'll see what happens, but I got what I need." Now, when I got to LA, it was all business. It was like, there was the game stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was two quick interviews. The video I had sent in originally supposed to be 3 minutes. I only did 2 minutes. I sat on my stairs and I basically said, "Hey, I'm a former undercover detective. I got a degree in business. I'm gonna take those attributes, those skill sets. I'm gonna apply it to Big Brother. I'm gonna basically go in there and create a whole undercover persona, and I'm gonna win." Now, when you guys called, I believe someone was like, "Oh, you think it's that easy?" And I was like, "No, but I wanted you guys to call me, so I said what I had to say to get you to call me."
Do you feel like saying you kind of were undercover? I know you obviously had to have like a different job and all that stuff, but do you feel like your personality was kind of just you, or were you like playing more of a part?
No, it's completely you. That's, I think, what good undercovers are. It's mostly yourself. Like even my name, undercover in real life, is Derrick, or was Derrick. So you want to be as close to who you are in real life when you're undercover, because it's easier to just be yourself, and you're less likely to get caught up. So basically, everything in there that I told them in the house was true except for my profession. That was the only thing I lied about. I talked about my kids, talked about Jana, I talked about experiences I had, where I grew up. Everything was accurate. The only thing I omitted was I'm not a Parks and Recreation coordinator. That was the only thing that little lie, little lie. But it was important to do so. I don't think I would have won if I would have told them the truth.
No.
So it's one of those things where I had no choice. There was no benefit to telling them. There were people in there that liked police officers. There were some that didn't. But I knew overall, even if they liked police officers, they would see it as like, "Oh, this is someone we don't want in the end." And so I had to try to play down as much as I could as far as what I was doing. And, I was just a guy cutting grass. Nice and simple.
Was Traitors then harder for you because you had to just it was all out there?
Traitors is just a harder game in general, not only because they know who you are, and there's so many dynamics to Traitors because you have the gamers and you have the non-gamers. And as we're seeing over the seasons, with the exception of Suri, and even Suri had a way of just like, she had never won before, so she was able to play that card. But the non-gamers, especially now after Suri won, are like, "Hey, listen, we're taking out the gamers. They're not making it to the end." And I think that'll probably continue for this next season. They're just not allowing those people to go forward. So you have that working against you. I had being a police officer working against me. And then you have this dynamic in there where with Big Brother, you can kind of see things coming, and you can have course corrections where if you see that you're getting away from someone and they're starting to distrust you, you can make corrections because you know everybody you're playing with. But with Traitors, it's this dynamic of you're playing a game of chess with people you can't even see. And the reality of Traitors is it's more luck than strategy, because the best way to win that game is to befriend the traitors if you're faithful, right? But
Right.
there's no way of knowing who they are. So like Dylan, and Dylan's a great player, but he'll be the first to tell you his best move in the game was becoming friends unknown to him with three traitors. He
Yeah.
just happened to be very close to Danielle, Rob, and Carolyn, not because they were traitors, but because he liked them and they liked him. So they protected him. They
Right.
all three of them were protecting him. Me, all I had was Danielle, and I knew I wasn't going to win the game, especially the way. Did you guys have a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I
Oh my
watched.
God.
Okay. So the way I came into the game also didn't help. So the
Right.
way I came into the game with Rob and Wes, you guys have been doing this longer than I have. There's no shot I'm winning.
No.
There's no shot. And we knew that. We knew that. We talked about it up in the cage. You know, it didn't make the episode, but we're like, we know why we're here. We're here to play the game. And so my goal was to try to make it to halfway and then to correctly identify a traitor. That was my goal because I knew I was going to get murdered at some point. They weren't going to take me to the end. So I wanted to have a moment where I could say, okay, America, I'm pretty good at my job. Here's who
Figured
the
it out.
person is. And I did that. And then I got murdered. And you know, that was the end of it. But I will tell you, I had a great time. So much fun.
Did you consider using that strategy though of like befriending all the potential people that you thought were traitors kind of?
You know, I knew Rob was a traitor,
Yeah.
and it's something where even if you befriend them, they could still murder you. So it was like a balance for me of like, what's more important? Do I try to befriend him, never call him out, have him murder me anyways, just to throw people off, and then I got to sit up in the diary room and be like, oh, I swear I knew who they were. If they would have kept me one more day, I would have called him out.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have that moment at the round table where I was like, no, you're a traitor. I know you're a traitor. These are the reasons why. And then I hoped that people would say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's vote him out. And that'd be great. But if not, at minimum, it would expose him, which it did because I said, listen, he's going to murder me now. But as soon as he does, I hope you guys smarten up and get him out. And it's exactly what they did. It took Tom Sandoval to do it, but we did it.
yeah. Would you have wanted to be a traitor?
I didn't. I didn't want to be a traitor. And I told him that. I didn't want to be a traitor. Now, would I be a traitor? Potentially, but I didn't want to be a traitor because I do true crime every single day. And credibility is not something that is just given. You have to earn it. And although it's a game, there are people who would look at me lying and deceiving people on that show as a character flaw and something that could be used in my personal life. And we're all capable of that. I did it on Big Brother. So the evidence is already out there. But I like going in there, playing as straight up as I can. And what you saw on Traitors is really who I am. I just went in there, I played the game, I made some friends, gathered information, developed an opinion, called them out. But I didn't play Big Brother. I didn't try to get to the end. It was about just being me. And that was a more authentic version of me than even on Big Brother. At Big Brother, I was playing a character
Yeah, and that
for the
makes sense
for the
'cause
sake of the game.
right, right, right. And you had time to sort of obviously people didn't know you before Big Brother. They obviously knew you going into Trader. So
Yeah.
you had time after Big Brother to sort of regain trust, et
Yeah, it
cetera.
was years ago, 10 years
Yeah.
ago, over 10 years
This is
ago.
10 years ago.
So I have done probably 4 or 5 crime shows and podcasts since. So that's kind of what I've done. I haven't done, and that was my first reality show, Traitors, since Big Brother. I haven't done anything.
10 years. I
Yeah,
can't.
isn't that crazy?
Over 10 years, 2014.
Phoebe, did you do All Star or 22? Was 22 kind of
No,
like
that's a whole different story.
the
Danny,
whole
were you
thing went?
casting on
Yeah,
that one?
yeah. What's
On
that?
All Stars?
Yeah.
Well, we were casting that show, and
So
then
you guys, I don't know how
well,
much you can say, but people don't believe me.
Well,
They
we
don't believe me when I say that I was supposed to be on the show, and then I backed out last minute. And Robin was pissed at me, obviously. But there were reasons behind it, and I told her the reasons straight up. It was Tenley did not want me to go. She did not want me to go, and I was already apprehensive about going anyways.
yeah, and you
But the
couldn't play the same game that you played in the beginning. It would have been really so crazy.
and All Stars is another thing where more than likely, just from a statistical probability perspective, I'm not going to win. So you got to be going there because you want to go to have fun. And Big Brother, I hate to tell people out there, it's not a lot of fun. It's stressful as shit. It
Yeah,
really
your
is.
paranoia kicks in.
Right. So you're going there for the money or you're going there for the fun, and you don't really win any money unless you get to the end. And so when you're at the time, she was 10, I believe, says to you, Daddy, I don't want you to go. And that's 90% of the reason I do everything I do in life. Well, then what am I going for? Because now I'm going to be thinking about her and her asking me not to go, and I'm going to hate myself and I'm going to play terribly. So it wasn't even a difficult decision. I called her and I said, hey, I don't even want to beat around the bush. I'm not coming. And I told her why. And she's like, but is there anything? I'm like, unless you're going to let Tenley come in the house, there's nothing we can do. And she's like, I get it. And I almost didn't go the first time because of her. So she was younger. She was having ear issues. But yeah, to me, even and now that Cody won, it makes me feel even better about my decision, because if I wasn't going to win, that's the number one person I would want to see win the show. So it all worked out perfectly.
Yeah. And just to clarify, we had started, do you remember? We started that
Yes.
season and that's COVID. So that's, we were
Yeah.
doing, we were like deep in it. And then
I
that's what
remember
ended
that.
up. So,
I had such a great pitch ready to
oh my
and
God.
I was like so
Thank
excited. And
you.
then yeah,
Yeah.
we they were
Yeah.
like done and then they did All Stars. But how kismet that Cody did win that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, he played a great game. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was already a great competitor. So he added the social game. And I would argue, and I say it to all people all the time, depending on what you value as far as players are concerned, total body of work, he's the best player ever. I mean, if you consider total body of work, who's
Wow.
better than him? Think about how many competitions he's won. He's like in the lead by like probably 5 or 6 comps. He made it to second the first time with only being nominated like once or twice. He went the whole second season without ever being nominated, with a bunch of people who've already played. Everybody likes him. Nobody hates him. And he just goes in there and plays the game. He doesn't make any enemies. He can beat everybody at any mental or physical competitions. He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
I never thought about it. What a great case you just made, bro. I'm
Yeah.
sold.
Just
So,
look at the stats. I mean, now when you bring in like entertainment value and all those subjective things, yeah, he's a boring player because he's methodical, right? He's like me. We're there to win. So there's way more entertaining players. And if you put a lot of stock on that, then we drop down the list exponentially. But if you're just basing it on like, if I had one player to pick to go into a returning season, if I had just a player to pick on their first season, I'm picking me. I think I played a great first season, but total body of work, I'm picking the archetype of a Cody. If he's my horse in the race.
When you did the Traitors thing, did they tell you they're gonna put you in the way they did? Like, did you know that going in, or was that a surprise when you got there?
I didn't know the specifics, but I had said no to season 2 and season 3. And then they came back to me. And part of the reason I said no is because I had an obligation, a speaking engagement in Nashville that was taking place the day we were supposed to leave for Traitors. So they called me. They said, okay, no problem. We'll think about you for season 4. Then they called me back and said, what if we put you into the game late? Would you be open to that? I said, well, it's not going to be good for me from a strategic perspective, but yeah, if you guys are willing to do that, I'll do it. So I go to Nashville. I fly from Nashville. It was an award show that I went to that night. Fly from Nashville to Scotland, get to my hotel 11 hours later after a delayed flight, put my bags on the bed, and they go, okay, put your first outfit on. You're starting. They're like, you got here late. It wasn't the plan. They weren't surprising me. It's just the way my flight came in. So when you see me up in that cage, I had literally just landed like 2 hours prior. They had me put my clothes on, threw some gel in my hair, and I went and filmed that night scene that you see first. That's obviously the night before. So I went out there and I met them that night, and that's when I found out that I was going to be in there with a couple players. 1 second, let me just answer this phone call.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Who's this? Hello? No problem. Have a good day.
We just got some scoop that you're moving. Are you just moving like just different houses or are you moving?
Yeah, you just bought a new house.
Okay.
So they're remodeling the whole house. So they're putting a new kitchen in, and the appliances are delayed.
That's
But
exciting.
he's like, the poor guy's like going through his script, and I'm like,
I
I'm
I
fuck.
I I wish that there was something you could press at the beginning of a call to be like, I don't want any. I want as little words as possible.
I don't want to be a rude either, because they're doing it for minimum wage, but it's like, all right, you got it, you got me. Whatever date you want, pick it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I finished saying I showed up at the house. I showed up at the woods. So when you see me
The
there,
night, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Up in the-
So I didn't know all the details, but I knew I was going to be coming into the game late. I did not know I was going to be coming in with 2 other players. I definitely didn't know I was going to be coming in with Boston Rob and Wes. So that was a little bit of a curveball, and I realized when I saw them, oh, okay, I know why they're here. They want us to go after each other. Like, we knew it immediately.
Did you know them before going
Nope.
into this?
I knew of them,
Mhm.
but I didn't know them personally. No, but I knew of them in their careers, and the status that they both hold. Like,
Yeah.
that was only my second show, so I was like, I'm definitely the outlier here. Like, Wes has done like 15 shows, Rob has done like 10, 15 shows. They're like professionals at this. This is what they do. So, but I knew, looking to my left and right, I'm like, okay, they want us to go after each other for sure.
So did you guys at that time decide like we're not doing that? Like we're not.
No, we said we were going to work with each other, but we knew that one of us was a traitor. There was no way you were putting the three of
Yeah.
us in the game without making one of us a traitor. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the one advantage I guess I had because I knew one of the two of them were traitors. It
Yeah.
was just a matter of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Did your kid watch Traitors?
Oh, she loved it.
Yeah.
Loves traitors. We watched it because of Cody.
Oh,
We watched it because of
Oh,
Cody. And I will say I got some major dad points because hate to admit this, but Tenley's 12 now and she's starting to like boys. And I had a premiere party. We did a big premiere party. Jeremy came down. He had his family there. I had mine. And she had invited a bunch of her friends from school. Now, Tenley has never had a boyfriend, as far as I know. And she hasn't really given us any indication that she's like super into guys yet. But she says to me, she goes, "Hey, Dad," and super like just casual. She's with her friends. They're all standing there. She goes, "Could you do me a favor? Could you could you FaceTime Dylan Efron real quick? We just wanted to say hello." And me and Dylan are tight. So I'm thinking, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can definitely FaceTime him. So I FaceTimed him and he picks up because he's a good dude. And I show it to the girls. I'm like, hey, Dylan, say hi. Guys, they lost their fucking minds, including Tenley. And it was a side to her that I've never seen. And a part of me broke right there in that moment because I didn't even know that person existed. So I was like, face palm to Tenley's face, like, back up. It's just a phone.
yeah.
Dylan, I love you. Goodbye. Click. And they were like almost in tears.
Tied.
I mean, it was a moment. It was a
I
moment,
mean,
but I definitely gained some cool points
oh, of course you did.
for
Oh
sure.
my God. Do you use your skills like as an undercover, police? Do you use that in your parenting? Like, are you on her? Are you like watching her? I have a 19-year-old, so
Yeah.
I get it. How has that affected your parenting?
Well, they can't lie to me. That's for sure. I mean, pretty
Do they
good at
try?
picking up lies. They don't even really try because I tell them right out. To me, it's not the infraction, it's the attempt to hide it.
Yeah.
If you tell me the truth, we can work it out. Like you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do things that are not good, but it's owning them and learning from them. And so as long as you're open with me, I will be disappointed at points, but I'm always gonna have your back. And so we've developed a really good they're my best friends. And we've developed a really good relationship where you don't have I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to be there to point you in the right direction, but I'm going to always be your number one supporter even when you fuck up. And I'll be there to help you navigate the situation. So be honest with me because if you lie, that's way worse than what you did because now you lose trust. And that's something that you can't just gain back overnight. So you be honest with me and I'll be honest with you and we won't have any issues. And then as far as just as being there for them, going through what I go through in life and covering the cases I cover, I am a little bit of a helicopter parent. You know, I'm going to go to these things like they wanted to go to the carnival the other night. It's a cool thing, but there's a lot of people there, some weirdos there. And I'm like, listen, you're not going by yourself because I know some of the other parents are letting you guys go by yourself. That's not happening with me. I've seen too many young girls be taken from events like this and they end up in the river. I'm not doing it. So, what I will do is I'll drop you off. I'll be in the general area. You have your Find My iPhone on. If you need me, we have an emoji that we send. I'm not going to say what it is here, but something to let me know she doesn't feel safe. And at that point, I'll come find you no matter where you are. And that's it. And we were good. And I didn't see you the whole time, or I should rephrase that. She didn't see me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the drones up. No, we were good. I may have brought in a couple of my colleagues to work undercover. No, but she was fine, and we have a great relationship. And yeah, listen, it's a benefit and a curse to do what I do every day because I don't trust anybody. But I do think it's a good way to live because if you're I don't want to say you go out there and you're just anxious about everything, but if you go in defensively, you're less likely to become a victim of opportunity. That's just the way I look at it. And that goes for men, women, strong, weak, doesn't matter. If you're alone, shit can happen. And so you always just want to go into it with your head on a swivel. And I tell them that, and I've taught them as much as I can what to be prepared for and what to look out for. And you just have to hope at one point if they're faced with a bad situation, they make the right decisions.
Yeah. So it's awareness. I mean, I can't imagine as a just a parent in general, but then a parent sort of knowing all that you know.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes I wish I didn't, but there are benefits to it because I do know what to look for.
sure.
We just went for the 4th of July. We went to the Boston, whatever. Like they had this huge thing at the river with fireworks. and we have my sister has a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-month-old. But anyway, the 4-year-old and 2-year-old are wild, like running and everything. And as I'm walking, and there's a million people and those like light up things going on and music. And in my head, I'm just like, this is like the beginning of a movie where a child is abducted. That's all. Like I felt like my eyes were a movie camera, and I was seeing the kid run through all these people, and I just was like picturing us screaming his name in the next like 10 minutes.
Well, in that crowd, in that crowd somewhere, there's a bad person. There's someone who's got nefarious intentions. What those intentions are, you don't know. But the thing is, you just don't want to be the person that finds out, because they may go there being a bad person, but decide not to do anything because the opportunity doesn't present itself. So the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where you give them that opportunity. And that goes down to just being aware of your surroundings, not getting too drunk, not taking anything that you don't know what it is, being around friends and family, people you can trust, and staying in public areas. Don't go off with someone you just met. Things, basic things. But in moments you can have a lapse in judgment, and most of the time you can recover from that, where you can say, man, that was a really dumb decision. The problem is sometimes you don't get that second chance. And those are the stories that we hear about. And so that's what you try to prevent by talking about it, being open, answering people's questions, looking at these tragedies, and obviously acknowledging the victims and their families, but learning from those experiences. Not victim blaming, but taking it almost like a history book, seeing what we've done in the past and where it went wrong, and learning from that to prevent it from happening to you or someone you care about.
Derek, do you ever have to sort of like like I have to compartmentalize a lot. I mean, probably being a parent that's helpful, but I mean, obviously like she's been made very aware of everything that she needs to be aware of, but also like do you ever have to step back from what you do, like your job and the podcast and true crime? Like it's a lot coming at you all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot. I'm very blessed, I'm very lucky in that sense, where some people don't have all of this going on. And I am lucky in the sense where I went on this show that I went on just to win the money because I was broke. And my plan, and Danny, you can push back if I'm lying here, but I never presented myself as someone who wanted to be an actor or a comedian or wanted to go on more reality shows. It was like, hey, I'm going here to win, and then I'm going back to work. And fortunately for me, I just was true to myself, and it led to other opportunities that I wasn't anticipating. It wasn't, I wish I could sit here and say that was the strategy. It wasn't. I got lucky. I came off the show. I had a good edit. I had a good turnout. We had a great season. We had a great cast. And there was just an agent who happened to, his daughter was Harry Gold. His daughter's was a fan of the show. They watched it. He said, why don't you come out to LA? I want to, there's some true crime stuff going on. I said, what's true crime? And then it went from there. I got on a couple shows, and it's been going ever since. I've been waiting for it to dry up, but it just keeps happening.
Didn't you like when you got that show? I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Like, were you just was that like
Yeah, I was
blowing
like, why
you?
me? Yeah, that the first one was Breaking Homicide. Well, no, it wasn't even Breaking Homicide. It was a special for O.J. Simpson, 6-part series. Is O.J. innocent? And it was like 2 years after I won Big Brother, and or maybe 3 years. But I did that show, figuring it was going to be a one-off. It was a cool experience, and then they said that show did really well. We want to give you your own show. And then I did Breaking Homicide for 2 years, and then COVID hit, and then we transitioned to a podcast, and now we're doing the podcast, the YouTube. I'm doing America's Most Wanted, done some other true crime stuff as well. It's like it's all over the place. And there's something coming up soon too that they're going to be announcing. I can't say it yet, and maybe you're smirking because you guys know what it is.
No,
Okay, all right,
no, but
all right.
like
We'll
I'm
say
excited.
off camera, but it's yeah, you'll be seeing me again like very soon, like very soon.
Oh,
That's exciting. You said lucky, and of course, there's a lot of luck involved, but like you have to say yes to all this stuff, right? You have to like
Yeah,
be prepared and dive in and do things you're scared of. Like that's
yeah.
kudos to you for taking it on.
Big Brother's the first one of that. I was petrified to play Big Brother, and I almost didn't go. And because I went, it snowballed. And you're right, with these other true crime shows, you don't know how they're going to edit you. You don't know how it's going to look. So it is a risk. And when you put yourself out there, you have to be open to criticism because it's coming.
Yeah.
And now I've just become immune to it. But yeah, there's a lot of reward, a lot of risk. But so far for me, knock on wood, it's been good.
were you scared that you were gonna lose your job, your career going on Big Brother? Because I feel like I would be.
It's possible. My chief told me right out that if you embarrass us, I'll fire you. So that was the number one goal, not to do anything. And I knew who I was. Like if you have biases or anything about you that people don't know about you, but you know about yourself, you shouldn't go on Big Brother because it's going to come out, especially if you're there long enough. But if you truly know who you are, we're all flawed, right? We all make mistakes. We all say things we shouldn't say and all that bullshit. But if you're a good person, or you at least you treat you treat people right and you do the right things, you're going to be okay in there, because even when you're yourself, it's going to be acceptable to most people. But yeah, you could say something that's taken out of context. You could do something that's not perceived well by the audience. Social media wasn't as prevalent as it is now. But yeah, you could absolutely lose your job. And in the job that I was in, there was a huge risk there, which is why I was apprehensive about going. And I remember calling Sean Laws O'Neill and saying, I'm not coming. And then Robin Cass called me and said, Derrick, I've had a lot of people call me after not going on and say they regretted it, but I've never had anybody call me and say I shouldn't have went.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. I talked with my family. Um, Producers had agreed to at least not tell me any information, but just let me know the surgery went okay with my daughter. It was just for her ears. And then I was good with it. Yeah.
That's another thing too. I mean, you mentioned your job, but also like you want to look good for your kids too, right? You don't want
Right.
anything to come out and like have them either be embarrassed or think
No
differently of you.
doubt.
So
Of course. And they're catching up with those things now. Like they're seeing clips of me and stuff on YouTube. And yeah, you're representing yourself, but you're representing the people, your family. And so I do think people lose sight of that in the house, and that's where they get themselves into problems. But I went in there knowing what I was there for. I wasn't trying to be like America's favorite. I wasn't trying to pretend I was someone I wasn't. I watched the show. I was a fan of Big Brother. I had a pretty good idea how to get to the end. I just had to stay focused and execute it. And that's not necessarily the most fun thing to watch, because I'm not going to be out of character. I'm not going to go and cause problems or start fights, but
you're drama free.
drama free. Get in, get out, go home. That's what we do as detectives. That's
Mm,
it.
have you been able to? Did you, when you got on Big Brother, or when you went on Big Brother? Were you like, I'm hanging up the undercover hat and never doing this again, or did you
Yeah.
go under? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
I was already a sergeant at that point. You guys played it up
Oh,
on the show that I was still an undercover detective, but I had already got promoted to sergeant. I had just gotten promoted to sergeant, but I was already back in like the public eye again. So I had actually wanted to apply for Big Brother multiple times when I was undercover. That's why I got into the show, because I couldn't go out, but I couldn't apply for it at the time because I was still undercover. So when I got promoted and I turned 30, that's when I applied. It was like a bucket list thing.
you can't go out when you're undercover. Oh,
You
I guess
can, but
not.
I work in Rhode Island, so there was a high probability that I'd be out at dinner or at the movies with my girlfriend, or or whatever, and I could run into that person. I could run into someone that I knows me as a different name. I could be out with family members. So it was a risk, so I usually just stayed home.
Has anything like that ever happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I had a couple run-ins where people were actually friends of my brothers or sisters and kids I went to school with, and I did an undercover operation at a university, and I was a college student, and I was walking around campus with the targets, and someone was like, "Yo, Derrick!" Now, thankfully, my last name, my first name was the same, but I immediately recognized this person. I ran over to them, and I was like, "Dude, I can't talk to you right now. Call me later. I know we haven't talked in a couple of years. Good to see you. I'll explain later, but don't say anything else." And they're like, okay. And they walked away. But I had to make a quick story up because I was from New York, and yet I was from New York, and yet this person knew me. So I had to say, oh, that's someone from New York who I played lacrosse with.
Do you
Yeah.
miss it? Do you miss being
Oh
undercover?
yeah. Oh yeah. I miss undercover work. I can't do it anymore. Not only because people know me, but because I got out of it when I had kids. I had Tenley, and it was just I was only in it for myself at that point. And then as you have become a parent, now you have other responsibilities and people who are relying on you. So you got to think about them as well. So yeah, it is that detective work is not for the married guy with kids. It's not a good lifestyle, because you're out where random hours, sometimes till 4 or 5 in the morning. You're traveling a lot. You're sitting in cars doing surveillance for 3 days at a time. It's the life for a single person, that's for sure.
Wow.
Do
That's.
you think, and sorry, I know this is getting sort of existential, but do you think that like, so you obviously lived this life and you've seen all these crazy things and horrible, horrible, but do you think like your kids made you believe in like better things again? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I would say it was more so me getting out of police work.
Okay.
Like one of the best things that happened to me was being removed from the police department. So I left in 2017. I retired in 2017. I did 13 years. And when you're a police officer, you just see the worst in everybody because that's all you're dealing with. And it took about a year or two, but once I started becoming Derrick again, where I wasn't always looking over my shoulder, not, willing to sit in a restaurant without having my back to the wall, it's life becomes better. And everybody tells me like, you're back to who you were before you became a police officer. You're not as cold. You're not as desensitized to everything around you. And yeah, your kids soften you up for sure, but it's more just not having to deal with that constant trauma and stress every day, because even when you're having a good day, the people who are calling you are not. So you may be having a good day at home, but then you go into work and you're dealing with a baby that suddenly just died, or a domestic assault, or a sexual assault, or whatever it is, and they're having the worst day of their life, and now it's your worst day because you have to help them. So yeah, it's not police work, whether you like cops or not. It's a job that people don't understand it until they do it. You see a lot of the stuff on the news and everything that's out there, and how you got these idiot cops who are treating people poorly during traffic stops, and all that's true, right? Like that happens. But when they're running into a house that's, on fire, or there's a shooting going on while you're running away, human beings aren't built for that. It's not something you should have to experience. And then having to do it every single day, it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you. So I got a lot of respect for everybody who does that line of work, because it is not easy.
I mean, I can barely watch the complete news without being like, so I can't imagine it being my like reality day in and day
Every
out.
day,
Yeah.
every day, 8 hours a day, sometimes 12 hours a day, call after call of someone who's going through something. Either it's them personally, or it's something they're a victim of, and now it's your problem. So nobody's calling you to come to the party to hang out when you're a cop. It's always something bad. And so yeah, you want to be a good community member. You try to interact with everybody. But where I worked, it was a tough city, and we were understaffed, and I was just bouncing from call to call, and it was always something that I wouldn't wish on a lot of people to have to witness. But you do learn from it. It made me grow up fast. I became a police officer when I was 20 years old, and I was not mature enough to be a cop at that time. I don't have any problem admitting that now. But I grew up really fast.
What if your like kids wanted to go into it?
Never.
Yeah.
No shot. You see how quick I answered that?
Mm-hmm.
No shot.
What if they wanted to go on Big Brother?
Within a second, I'd let them go.
Oh.
Because
That's
I
funny.
know them. I know them, and I know, well, first and foremost, I think Tenley specifically would be phenomenal at it, because she breaks me down. She's 12, and she has such a good read on people. It's crazy. But she'll be on it. If the show's still around, she'll be on it for sure. For sure she'll be on it. And she'll, mark my word, she'll probably win.
Wow.
She's that
Maybe,
good. And
maybe it'll be like a dad and daughter
I
season.
know I'm a parent, so just take everything I'm saying and throw it out the window, but she's brilliant. Like she's better than me at everything than I was at her age. But she also has such a better upbringing and not all the negative shit. So she's just like, she's going to be dangerous in a game like that.
Did she watch your season or not yet?
She hasn't watched it in its entirety. She doesn't have the attention span for it. She picks up like halfway through when I really start like doing stuff, and she likes the highlights. She likes the spots where she's in it.
Of
Go
course.
figure, right?
Yeah.
She likes the spots where she's on TV or I'm talking about her or whatever. But
Fun time.
she liked Traitors more, because Traitors is more fun and kind of like less
Disney.
strategic. It's all kind of like, yeah, it's goofy and entertaining. And
Yeah.
Big Brother is a lot. It's an obligate. You guys know it's like a lot. It's an investment to watch that whole season. So she's not up for all like the details and the diary rooms. She likes the competition. She likes seeing me dumped in barbecue sauce, the basic stuff,
Yeah.
the
Wait, were
basic stuff.
you like, I would be stressed if I was to go on Traders. I would be, one of the most things I would be stressed about is getting my outfits ready to be like super classy and Scottish. Were you like nervous about that? Did you have to go on a
I
shopping
went
spree or
basic.
did
Me
you?
and like Rob, we went basic, man. I just threw on a jacket and a t-shirt. I didn't go crazy. I mean, listen, I'm not there for the looks. Let's be honest, guys. Okay. You see the cast that's there. I mean, there's some like drop dead gorgeous I'm sitting next to Dylan and for Efron, you know? Let's be honest. You don't got me there for the clothes. Nobody's look. I'm not trend setting. Okay, so I'm there to put on a put game. You want to see me play the game. You're not there to. You're not going to model your wardrobe after Derrick Levasseur.
Did you have to go?
Wear kilts?
They helped me pick out the wardrobe. Like I did go with like a more comfortable look. Like I had a couple outfits where like um they help you. They help you pick out stuff, and they have a stylist, and they'll also have clothing there that they'll throw you in if like. So there was a couple things I wore that they were like, hey, we think you'd look good in this, and you throw that on. But I mean, if you look at me, I wore like a sport coat jacket or whatever. Like most of the time, I just kept it my own style. But there are some people who go out. The women all look phenomenal. Like it's insane. The dudes, most of them, other than like a Tom Sandoval and like Bob Harper and Bob the drag queen, they killed it. Like Bob Harper is one of the best dressed people I've ever seen. I mean, he was wearing I forgot the name of the brand, but he had like a specific brand that was like a designer that was like sponsoring him, and it was like ridiculous, like a new outfit every day. It was insane. Yeah, he had some good stuff. I'm trying to think of the brand because we were all talking about it. He wore it every day that he was there. But yeah, no, some people they all looked phenomenal.
I didn't realize you could get sponsored for that, like a red carpet. Like does
Yeah, I
that
think it was a friend of his or something. But like, obviously, it's great for the brand, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna be on this huge show.
Are you guys still hang? I know you're close with like Dylan, obviously still Cody. Do you still like talk to like
Yeah,
Boston
I mean, I talked
Rob
to
and
all of them. I mean, listen, I talked to all of them. I'm probably the closest with Wes, but text Rob, call Rob, Dylan, Brittany, Danielle. I mean, I'm cool with all of them. Tom Sandoval was just on America's Got Talent. I hit him up to say congrats. Um, actually, my sister's going to WWE tonight, and I think Nikki's going to be there. So yeah, I mean, it's you develop. That's why what's cool about Traitors is you go on there and you get to meet all these people from different backgrounds and different shows, and then you're friends with these people afterwards, and it's like, what? I watched these guys growing up, so it's cool. And even you look at the season now that they just announced the cast and who they have on there, and it's like it's an eclectic group of people. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we got it.
I mean, we talked about a lot.
I know,
yeah, we
yeah.
talked about a lot. Is there
I mean,
anything like any other like scoop you want to give us on? I know you can't say like what your big project coming up is, but
it's not even, I wouldn't say it's a big project. I'll just say it's a project you guys will definitely know. And I'm not allowed to say anything yet, but I would without giving too much away, because I'm sure this will get clipped. Uh, you'll be seeing me soon. You'll be seeing me soon.
So now my guess is gonna be wrong, because when you said it's a thing coming up, we'll definitely see it. I was gonna guess, and I would love to see you on this because I think it would be really fun. I was gonna guess Dancing with the Stars.
I was literally gonna say that.
So no, I can't say too much. I'm not on Dancing with the Stars.
Hey,
I'm not on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
There was some conversations, some calls that were made. I would definitely do something like that, but there was some things there, and there's other people that were on my season who are probably not even probably are more popular than me. So if you're gonna go from my season, there's other people you could pick. But there was some of what did he call, like availability call stuff for certain shows.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone from my cast on Dancing with the Stars. I'll say that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's already been Phaedra was just on it. So
I love her.
yeah, Phaedra's awesome. So it's like you're gonna see more. Traitors is a great show, and it exposes you to a lot of different things, But it all comes from shows like Big Brother's nothing to, look down on either. Big Brother's a massive show, and we bring in a lot of good players that end up on these other shows and they kill it. So, you think about everything that Big Brother people are doing now. You have Taylor doing stuff. You have people on the challenge. Josh Martinez has been on like 7 seasons of the challenge. He's doing the Telemundo thing. He's doing Expedition Impossible. I mean, we're out there. We're Big Brothers. We're getting out there.
For sure. I love that. Awesome.
Cool.
Derrick, thank you so much for hopping on.
Derrick, we really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I don't think I realized it's been over 10 years he was on Big Brother. That to me feels like it could have been 2 or 3 years ago.
I know. Yeah, 10 years is a long time.
Like the whole like that to me,
Pre-COVID, like it's a whole lifetime ago.
the way he talked about being a cop and how it weighs on you was so well said to me. I'm like, I've felt like that before, but I've never heard it put in that way, and it really hit me in a different way where I was like, wow,
Well, I'm sure he's probably used to like saying that, used to like defending them
Mhm.
and his work and his job. But I also love that he sort of like calls it out like it is too, because he wasn't like, making it like there aren't bad cops or that bad things don't
Mhm.
happen or they don't do bad things. Like it's a very complicated, complex issue. And I'm happy that he was like, able to speak to that as well.
Yeah, it's crazy how he said, like, he's like, I'm a much happier, I'm a better
Yeah.
person now. Like,
I mean, maybe there should be like a time limit on listen to me talking about policy right now, but like do you know what I mean? Like I can't imagine doing that. What he said, what it does to your mental health, how it affects you, your life, your family, like
think about I feel like most people say, I can't. Some people are addicted to the news, so all they do is watch news. But then a lot of people are like, I had to turn the news off, or I had to put my phone down for that. Like, like you can only take some people can only take so much.
yeah, that was me this weekend with I can't take all the news. And as I said that about you should only be able to be a police officer for a limited amount of time, maybe that should be the new thing of like any job at all. Like you only can be such and such for a certain period of time because you're going to get burnout, you're going to start to like be frustrated and maybe hate it. And we all should be like learning new stuff and trying new things and doing new things. So maybe I should lay some law down. Maybe that should be how it is.
I mean, I like that. I mean, we're in freelance, so like,
Yeah, we
even though
do
it's
it.
kind of the same job, it's a lot of times, well, not as much for us anymore, but a lot of times different coworkers, different offices, different bosses, different topics, just different, lots of things.
Yeah, every show is different.
Yeah, but I guess
Thanks.
you could say that as a cop too. Like every day is going to be a different journey, but it's
Like
kind
Derek
of a
said,
bad
you're
one.
still hearing like it's all it's all
Bad
going to be
one.
like negative. Yeah, that's why they're coming to you, right?
Yeah. I will say going back to the 4th of July thing with my sister's kids, Jack, like the 4-year-old Jack, he ran up to, he's upset. Like he loves, like boys, firemen, policemen, like
As he should.
all the things. So he ran up to them so excited and was like, can I get a picture with you? And they were just like so happy. And it was like one female cop, one other like younger guy cop. And I was just like, oh, that was like such a cute moment.
They must live for that. That must make them so
Yeah.
happy to be appreciated, and that must make their day when kids do that and people
Yeah.
appreciate them.
Like when he was saying that, I was like thinking back to that moment and I was like, oh, that probably was like such a
Yeah.
happy moment for
They
them
need
since they
that.
have to deal with so many not happy moments.
Yeah. Well, it's always a happy moment with you.
I was just thinking of a way to transition that, but that was great. It is always a happy moment.
Always when we're talking about casting stories
Yes.
untold, baby. Yes.
Love it. All right. Well, until next time.